Hi, and welcome to Gardner Camp. My name is Amy Leffringhouse, and today we're going to talk about the adventures that you can experience on or around water. We are going to show you today how to make your own dip net to catch little critters in the water, and we're also going to show you the best water sport known to mankind, something that anybody can do. Stay tuned to find out what that is. First, let's talk a little bit about water. What types of water bodies are found in this area of Illinois? We've got creeks, we've got ponds, we've got bigger lakes, we've got wetlands, and we've got rivers. So Gardner Camp is located right next to the mighty Mississippi River, and we are actually a wetland area connected to the Mississippi River. So right here, we are standing at our stream table. And if you're ever at Gardner Camp, you can see big hills over on the Missouri side and over on the Illinois side. And those are the river bluffs. They're big hills with trees, really tall. Now, this stream table represents the river valley that Gardner Camp is located in, with the sides of the stream table being those big river bluffs. So both sides here represent those river bluffs that is the river valley in between those bluffs. Now, a long time ago, the river used to spread out wide from bluff to bluff. So do you think that the water was shallow or deep when it was spread out really wide? What do you think? Actually, it was very shallow. There were areas where it might have been deep, but there were a lot of little shallow depressions where wetlands were formed. So this stream table kind of shows you a little bit how a river would have flowed way back in the day before man, the day when Native Americans would have existed in this area. So we're going to turn on this stream table and see what happens. We're looking at our river valley here, our Mississippi River Valley, and you can see how the terrain kind of goes up and down, but there's no real river channel. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the stream table here and watch what happens when the source of water is turned on and where the river flows. So let's take a moment to see how it flows. So you can see it's kind of filling in some of the lower depressions that are lower. But it's not moving down too awful fast, but you can see some of the grains of sand moving down away. But it's really spreading out wide. You can see it's all the way over here to this bluff, and it's all the way over here to that bluff. Slowly moving down the river valley. Oh, here's some right here that's come out. So with this type of river valley, men and women that would have lived way back in the day would not have been able to navigate very easily up and down this river. They would have to use canoes, things like that, to get in this really shallow water. So when man started to advance and needed a way to carry goods down the river, we started to look at channelizing the river, or making the water go down one deep channel so that we can move goods up and down the river. Now you can see over here in this area, it's starting to form a little wetland over here. Down in this little space right here, we can see a little bit of a channel forming. Over here on this side, you can see this depression, and water is somehow getting over here, but there's not a channel that forms that goes straight to this area. How do you think that the water gets in that area? Anybody have a guess on that one? It actually runs underground. So there's an aquifer under all of our feet where water runs underground underneath us, and that's where we get our drinking water from, with wells and things like that. So you can see here there's no channel running straight to it, but it's filling up with water. And that's something like what Gardner Camp is. So this, again, is when the river was wide and shallow. So like I talked about before, if man came in and made one large channel, this is where they wanted it to flow, and they wanted it to be deep enough for a boat, a barge, to go up and down the river. They would make this channel and build up these levees as tall as they could make them, so the river would go right down that area. So you can see here, the river is deeper along this channel that we have made. And that's how barges go up and down the Mississippi River system. Now, if you keep the water flowing here, you can see on the outsides of these curves, there'll be a little bit more and more erosion. So sometimes we get our tractors in here and we might put in some higher levees so that it doesn't erode. We might put in rocks on the outsides of those curves so that the bank won't erode away. But this stream table is a really cool way just to show how rivers form and where water flows in a river valley. Now that we have learned how a river flows and how wetlands are formed, let's go down to the dock and we will teach you how to put together your own net so that we can explore the wetlands and dip up all different types of animals and critters that we can find in a wetland.
Hi, we are in Walmart looking for cheap ways to make your own net to catch wetland critters. So we have found kitchen strainers right here in the kitchen utensil aisle. They are around $7 a piece. This one is an 8-inch strainer and this one is a 7-inch strainer, and they will work great to attach them to a dowel rod. Now we are in the craft section here at Walmart. We've got our kitchen strainer for our net to net up the creatures, but now we need a handle to attach to it. This is a dowel rod. It's a 5/8 inch dowel rod. It's about 3 foot long. You can get them longer, but Walmart has the 3 foot sections of dowel rod. They cost about 97 cents, so we've got $7.97 invested into our homemade net. We need to go and get one more thing, and that is zip ties to tie them up to attach the handle to our net, and we'll be all set. Okay, we are now getting our last thing that we need to attach our basket to the handle. These are zip ties. They're 8-inch zip ties. We're in the paint and hardware section at Walmart in the light bulb aisle. You can get 100 of these cable ties or zip ties. You only need about 3, maybe 4 of them for $4. So we have $7, $4, and $1. So $12 homemade net that you can use over and over again when you're visiting the next pond or wetland, catching different types of insects and animals, and exploring the wetland. Okay, once we've collected our little critters, we can put them in a few different items. This is just a dishpan, a plastic white dishpan, so you can see the critters at the bottom. And we also use at camp some little mini cups or appetizer cups with the white bottoms. They're good for separating and sorting what you catch.
Now we're here, we're going to put together our net so that we can dip up different creatures here in the wetland. So we've got our dowel rod, we've got our strainer. We're going to take a couple of these zip ties and we're going to zip tie our strainer right onto the dowel rod. And ta-da! We've got our dip net. Now we can reach out a little bit further into the water. If you want to, you can cut off these tails on your zip ties so they're not getting caught in the moss or the vegetation that's in the wetland. So we are ready to go. We're ready to dip up some different creatures. One of the best things that you can do if you are close to a body of water is to look for skipping rocks. So there are several different steps that you need to take before you skip a rock, and anybody can skip rocks. First is selecting a stone. So you want to try to find one that's about the size of the palm of your hand. And a lot of times triangular ones are the best kind to look for. You might want to make sure the weight is the weight of a tennis ball, so that'll make it go far. You want to grip the stone properly, so you can see here how to grip it properly. And then you throw the stone and you release the stone. So you want it to spin. You want the stone to spin after you are throwing it so that it skips in the water. The science behind skipping stones is that there is more of a forward velocity than there is a force of gravity. So we want to skim it right across the top of the water. So let's try it right now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I think I got 2 skips. The Guinness Book of World Records for skipping rocks is 88 times. Can you believe that? Thank you for joining us today. We learned about the river valley and how rivers are formed, how wetlands are formed. We learned how to put together our own dip net, and we also learned how to skip rocks, which is, again, the easiest and most fun thing that you can do whenever you're around a body of water. So today, I want you to get outside, find a collection of skipping rocks. That's your challenge for today, your get outside challenge. So go find a whole bunch of skipping rocks, make a collection, and put it together and take it to the nearest body of water that you can find and practice your technique in skipping rocks.